Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Lucas, and this is Doing the Deal. And we're coming at you with a pepper update. So what we're going to be getting after today is filling up our system, checking our float, setting it all up, using nutrients, and getting that all rocking and rolling. We have been hand watering until this point. We were up to the point where we were doing it twice a day, so we're going to set up our system. And we're going to set it up to water twice a day, and we're going to start with a little bit of newts. We'll probably do that for a couple of weeks before we then maybe jump into the more aggressive amount of nutrients. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 15 gallons of water in our deal. We're going to be adding, let me see here, very, very low. 30 milliliters of each of our 3-part deal from General Hydroponics. 15 gallons is roughly about 57 liters or so. Their recommendation for what they call mild veg is 132 milliliters per 100 liters. So we've got about 57 liters, and we're going to do a total of 30 milliliters of each 3 of those. We're also going to be adding our cow mag and our, what else are we adding? Our HydroGuard. Super low amounts of those, 15 milliliters of each probably. And we're going to set it up like that, and we're going to see how the system reacts to getting water in a more high dose of nutrients than what we've been providing hand water wise. Also, what we're going to do is we're going to trim up our plants. We haven't messed with them at all, so this is how far they are. I think they look good. We hopefully can get them looking even more better with a more frequent water schedule and more frequent nutrient solution. More, not frequent, but the same all the time. I was just hand mixing stuff every day when I was doing it. So we'll have a more uniform feeding schedule and feeding amount. In addition to that, that's all we got cooking. So let's go ahead, let's flip it around. We'll take what it looks like before the trim, and then we'll get back after it, and we'll see what it looks like after we all trim them up. And then we'll take a look what happens when the system's all set up and running. So here we go. All right, guys, here it is. We have not done any trimming on any of our plants yet. We just got the water up and running. We've got some stuff that doesn't look all that great, but hopefully getting the cycle all tuned in and locked in is going to help us out immensely. But these are where we are with all of these so far. We're about to trim them up and add a little bit of dirt to the bottom. We have our floats set really high. Some of these are already starting to bud. We'll probably pinch those off. Right, this is supposed to be a habanero of some sort, but we're gonna get them all cleaned up. We're gonna get a little bit of dirt and go from there, see what they all look like after the fact. We're running all the deal. We got the humidity. We did shut the heater off. We added a couple of fans. These fans were great from Spider Farmer when they did rotate, but they don't rotate anymore, so we're gonna have to figure something else out. So let's go ahead, let's get after it, and let's trim these up. All right, guys, here we are. We are entering veg mode, or whatever you want to call it. We've got pretty decent sized peppers. Here's what we got going after our trim. Don't mind what's going on. You can see we had some issues. We're starting to bounce back. Hopefully everything is going to be more on the up and up once we get the system up and running. We're running the air cube. We're gonna have it set for 2 15-minute water cycles a day. We've added a couple of fans. Still don't like these Spider Farmer ones. They don't rotate anymore. You'd like a big tower fan or something, right? Here's our bottle rocket. Let's see what we got cooking. Here's our Jedi, jalapeno variety, and our Helios, which is a habanero style. I think the bottle rocket, the bottle rocket or the Flamin' Fair, and one of those is a cayenne pepper, so. There we go. All right, let's get after the water stuff. All right, guys, here we are. We got it all filled up and full of our nutrients. We've checked our pH and our EC. We've got everything all trimmed up. We've got our float set really high. We've had the doors open for a minute. We're sitting at 77, 53%. Our humidity is going to drop even though this is running. I find these things to be very finicky. Each dial chunk is 15. So we've got it twice a day. We're going to flip it on. We're going to let it sit. And we're gonna check and see how everything looks from there, but I feel pretty good about it in the greater scheme of things. Filling it up. Peppers are starting to look nice. I think some of our issues here, inconsistency in watering and nutrients. We've got some flowers coming in. I would assume most of them are probably gonna drop. Not sure. Get going. We trimmed a decent amount on some of them. We may add some more dirt, we may not. But there you have it. We're gonna let this sit for 15 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll see what the water's doing. So here we go. All right guys, 15 minutes later, everything looks good. We've got no leaks or anything. Our float, like I said before, our float is high. Tied this bad boy up. He was kind of creeping a little sideways. We come in here. I think our level's fairly good. You take it around. There we go. Not very far at all before we start running into moist soil. But we don't want it to get to the top. We want it to stay just like that. We'll go like this. I think the last thing we need to check before we flip it around for some final thoughts is that it does actually drain. And to do that, if you wanted to, you would go all the way down to the bottom, would be drain, but we want to activate auto mode. So we're going to put it right in the middle. I find these very finicky. So let's see. Let's see if we get it go down. Nice. All right, so we're good to go. Dumping back in, filling up our reservoir. I don't like our setup back here, kind of pinched, but it is what it is. So with that being said, system is up, running, fully operational. Let's go ahead, flip it around for some last final thoughts. All right guys, here we are, big day. Got the system filled, nuded, checked our pH, checked our EC. We trimmed. And everything seems to be filling and draining appropriately. We don't have any leaks along the way. So with that all being said, I think that's a huge win for us. We're gonna let this sit like this, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks before we start adjusting any nutrients. We will do a water change in a week's time. I think it's essential to constantly do it. I think if you wanted to, you could probably wait any longer than that, you're gonna run into some issues, I believe. That's just me, that's my personal opinion. So we're gonna do it on the weekly. We're going from there. Couple of things we might have coming down the pipeline, assuming this keeps going the way we want it to go, is we'll start with that companion planting like we had talked about in previous videos. So that's what we got going down today. Those are the things we have coming up in the future. Hopefully big old fatty plants, some big old fatty peppers, as well as some companion planting, which I'm a little excited about. So as always, I appreciate you guys. If you liked what you liked, please hit that thumbs up button. If you want to continue along our epic journey of indoor gardening exploration, please hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoy your day, your week, and hopefully I'll catch you guys later. Appreciate y'all.